Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of We're Screwed. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr., and with me, as always, my co-host, old boy James Ash. How you doing, brother?
I'm pretty good tonight. How's everyone?
On tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about TikTok, and not really any particular video or bashing it or anything like that. There's a bunch of stuff going on with TikTok in the news, or whether they're going to ban it or not ban it, and all that. Old boy was talking to me about it before the show. So I think what I'll do tonight is I'm gonna let old boy start this off because he was just rattling on and on and on about it. So he knows a lot more than I do about this. So I'll have him kind of give the information, and then when he's finished, I'll be back to kind of give my opinion on it. So go ahead, brother.
And thank you, brother. And just so everybody knows, Andy couldn't make it tonight. He was working. So that's why you guys are wondering why Andy didn't make it. And that happens. He's a manager, so this happens sometimes. So just so you know. And thank you guys. Yeah, so what we were going to talk about is they're trying to ban TikTok on January 19th. They either have to sell it or they have to shut it down if he doesn't sell it to a competitor that's not from China, because they believe that China is watching our information from it. The federal appeals court turned it down, but the Supreme Court can still pick it up, and if they do, it gets postponed. But the other night, Trump was on, and he said that he may get involved in this because, like he said, a lot of people are going to lose money. 175 to 178 million people in America alone. They're not going to ban it in other places, just in the United States. And they're talking about doing it in Europe now. So it'd be like 400 or 500 million people. It's almost 175 here to 174, something like that, or more. But a lot of people are making money, and Trump said that's not right. Plus, he used it for his campaign. He's used TikTok for a lot of things. And he said that they haven't been able to prove the Chinese are involved. The Chinese owner owns it, but that's why he won't sell it, because he'll get screwed. So that's why it could have been easy and just sell it to somebody, and it's different. But he's going to keep it fighting. Well, Trump was saying was that it's not fair to ban them because somebody else is going to come along like them. Like, I think there's Lemon 8, and I heard they suck. And a couple other companies that's coming, clap or something, but then they're going to do somebody else once they already jump on it. And he said that's not fair, them making money, and then all these people get screwed and have to redo everything, because a lot of people make a lot of money off of TikTok. You can make pretty good money if me and James really sat here and did it. Be honest with you, we could make money. We have the followers. We just don't care. We could sit there all day and good night and make stupid videos, and people would probably. The crazy thing is, me and James can make videos of our cats in the backyard and get millions of views. What would make absolutely no sense, but it would happen. And that's what's crazy about TikTok. And we could tell you a full story like this and maybe get 200 or 300 views, and it makes no sense. But that's what people like. But I don't think it's fair, because this is the truth. Because they haven't been able to prove it, and that Chinese is involved in it. And now they're saying that they can see our phone, Apple conversation, and the Samsung Android. They can see it now, every text messages. And I'm like, well, everybody can probably see it. It's not just them. Google's admitted to watching us. That's why I said, like, this is becoming a bunch of bullshit. TikTok, in my opinion, I do believe they need to start making it a little bit better, because there's a lot of misinformation going on. I see some of the point of the government. That's another issue, but that's, again, putting amendments on the First Amendment. Even though the internet was made after it, it should be protected in the United States if we're going to use it here in TikTok. The First Amendment is supposed to protect you, even though it could be a lie or misinformation. If it doesn't threaten somebody or in any way harm somebody, then it is. The problem is you have a lot of people who take this by heart and go out and do dumb shit. And that's the problem. And I see some of the problems with it. But I also think that trying to stop people from talking and saying what they want to say is, again, the same thing, is breaking the Constitution. We have a First Amendment, and that's what they're saying. But they said the government can get involved if an other foreign agency is owning, and they might be involved in it, but they haven't been able to prove it. And what I think is hilarious is they want to do this to China, but they have no problems making deals with them lately and stuff like that. And then they criticize, I'm not trying to defend Trump. I'm not the biggest fan of him. I'm off and on. I have my opinions on him, but he wants to stop them, and now they want to make a big deal that China might be watching our information. That it makes no sense to me, because they bashed Trump for going against China, but now they care about China knowing our information. But makes no sense. And then they got mad when Trump put a bunch of tariffs on China. It makes absolutely no sense. And it's actually crazy. Trump kind of started liking, his son uses it a lot, and he's used it a lot. And I think that, I see where he's talking about, and I think that's a good idea, because I think he needs to more investigate it before we do anything. And that's what he really wants to do. Or maybe sell it to the best seller, and then we can start controlling, the lies, or if they're trying to be getting into information, we can fix that part of it. Banning it's stupid, because I think it will end up in court and we'll be fighting this for a while. Banning is not the answer. I think maybe regulating it better would be a better answer, and just banning something. I know James's opinion on that. I think that maybe regulations would be a lot better than just say, well, fuck you, we're banning it. Because like I said, there's a lot of people who are not bad people, and they're making money off of it. And you're killing, because of COVID, it's helped a lot of people. We're not back in the economy. This is going to kill more jobs, and it's not going to help anybody. I know a lot of people on TikTok. I have a lot of friends that make money off of there. And they need to make this money, or they're going to have to go do something, and they're going to lose their businesses, because they sell a lot of products like shirts. We even use TikTok for selling stuff like wear shirts. We have advertised their shirts in our show. It's a very good advertising tool. Even if you're not making money, we can make our advertise our shows on there, and it's great. It works perfectly. That's what I'm pissed off about, and James uses it too. We can advertise our show. It's another way of doing stuff. We could do live shows. That's why they need to regulate it instead of, we're going to fucking ban it. They gave him a year. You know what? They knew this was coming. He should have kept fighting it. Hopefully the Supreme Court picks it up just to see what's going to happen. I think they will, because there's so many people going to protest this. This is going to cause a lot of shit. I think a lot of people use TikTok as a getaway, and you could do goofy shit on it, and most of it isn't bad. There's some stuff that happens, and that's with all social media. There's a lot of bullshit that goes on, especially Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, X, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, Twitch, and that's just my opinion. I have so many friends on there, and I don't want them to lose their jobs and lose their income of making extra money and help whatever helps to pay the bills, because they're already struggling now because the economy's gone and people don't want to buy shit. I don't want anybody to lose income. I would hate that to happen. And that's the number one thing I really don't want to happen in free speech. Even somebody might be misinformed. It doesn't mean they're liars. That's their opinion. Now, there's some stuff that should be checked, and what they should do is whatever they're saying could be or could not be real, just like they fact check. Just fact check like Facebook does. This could not be real, or it could be, this is a fact check that this isn't true, or it could be disputed. That's the easiest way to do things, instead of, well, no, the Chinese are watching it, but yet we don't want to put in tariffs. It's crazy how this contradiction keeps going on. It makes no sense to me. I hope Trump does get involved. On this part, I really do. I hope he stops people from losing jobs and losing income and having a getaway, because I think a lot of people, but I do hope they do something with a lot of the misinformation. There's people just going on and on about dumb shit that it's not true. It's causing a lot of problems. But that's with everything on social media. Facebook's got that. Twitter's got cleaned up. You gotta clean up some of this, and that's what I think they should just do. They should clean it up. I think that's an easier way. Maybe have somebody come buy it out. I think maybe that would be the best alternative. Maybe he can get a seller or not even seller. Maybe he can get a partnership. Maybe Elon Musk. I heard he was talking about maybe coming in. Maybe the guy from Facebook, one of them coming in and maybe partner with him, and then they won't say nothing anymore. Just sell the American version of TikTok. That's what everybody wants him to do. Just sell that version of TikTok, and America will run it. But he doesn't want the government running it. So then sell it to somebody like a private company, like I said, X will take it over. And just like I said, we can just control what's going on and on. But don't get into people's money. Don't get into people's stuff like that. That's ridiculous. A lot of people do a lot of religious stuff on there. They have a lot of topics. They have a lot of stuff like our show. They do even shows like we do, and podcast, and they make money off of doing videos of versus each other. I don't know if you ever seen it. I even follow some of the actors on there. The guy played in Walking Dead, Rick, and the guy says, little pig, let me in," and I'm friends with him. I've talked to him a little bit. He'll say something back. And some of the guys we do paranormal, they do a lot of paranormal work on there. Even Andy does, and Sean Austin and all these other guys, they do it. It's a good thing. We used it. James doesn't use it too much. He doesn't go on social media as much as he used to, but he has a TikTok account, and and he knows I use it a lot to do our shows and advertise. And it's a really good tool for advertising, and I love it. And you can shop and buy stuff. They got a store. And I think there's other ways of this can be handled. And again, I think banning it was a little ridiculous. I think they should have put sanctions on it. Maybe I could get that, but banning it. And now the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court's probably going to hear this case. So it's probably going to get at least out for 6-7 months. Even if Trump gets involved, he might veto it for another year till they figure it out. And he's going to investigate it. I think that's what needs to be. There should be more investigation on what's really going on here. That's just my opinion. I don't want any. I like using TikTok. I use it for certain things, and I talk to people. I've met a lot of people on there, and it would suck that I have to go find these people somewhere else. And would be a real sad thing, because I've met a lot of people, and it's really helped my career knowing people from TikTok, and helped our name out, and got me more to do stuff that I was just like kicking back, and I'm like, nah, I gotta fucking fix this character and do stuff. And I got to meet people, and I seen how people really knew who we were, and it surprised me. And they thank me a lot and tell me how our shows are good, and enjoy it. Because one thing we do is we might not always be right, but we don't lie to you. I will tell you this. Maybe we might be wrong on a subject, but we're not lying to you. Misinforms is different than lying. We'll try to tell you the truth. And if we're wrong, we'll go look it up. And if we're wrong, we'll fucking tell you we're wrong. That's just how we are. We're not liars. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, and neither is he. But if that's what I said. I've been wrong. I'm not, fuck. If I was 100% right, shit, I wouldn't be doing what I've been doing. I'd be flying a jet or something. I'll be doing something like that. But or be a millionaire. But that's not how it is. I have to do what I have to do, and most of us do. But this thing with banning things, and it's not going to be any good. It's putting certain things, because the next thing they're going to want to ban this, or they want to ban that, and they're going to ban YouTube because they do this, and it's just not good using that against people, especially when they're making a lot of money. When you have 178 million people using it, no, you can't use it anymore. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. They did that to Craigslist years ago. They sanctioned it, where you couldn't do certain things on it, and it got hurt. But there was people selling themselves and all kinds of weird shit going on there. But no one goes on Craigslist anymore. So that showed you what they were looking for: sex and all that other shit. And they made the trafficking laws, and I understand, because there was stuff that was bad going on. Some of these people were crazy, but it's still going on. And that's what's crazy to me. And I just think that we should do something different instead of banning TikTok. I think there's other things we can do. So, and another comes, what if they make Z-Talk, and it's their competitor made and now they're going to make a bunch of money now because they're owned from somebody in America or Canada, and it's the same fucking thing. And now TikTok, the guy loses all his money, but somebody else has the same kind of shit, but it's owned by a different country. So that I think we could. I think maybe if I was you, and if I know you're not going to hear us, and maybe you should probably think about selling it. Unless Trump does get involved, but even if he does, maybe partner up with somebody so you can keep your business. Um, I think it's ridiculous, but I see some of the points though they're saying. Maybe just let them be involved or something. But then again, there's the government involved in everything. And that's another thing I don't want, them telling us what we can watch and what we can talk about and what we say. That's the other issue I have with this. And I know James, he really didn't know all this was going on. He knew stuff was going on with TikTok with the misinformation, but I don't know what his opinion is. I think he's probably, I'm going to be won't be surprised what he's going to say, because I know he has his opinions on the First Amendment and the government telling us what we can say and what we can't. Because, they tried to do that on Facebook. And why is Facebook allowed to do it, but TikTok's not? It kind of, and then they're not getting rid of Facebook. He just, he basically admitted he was watching people. But that's totally fine because it's owned by somebody in America. But if China, because they're owned by a guy in China, all of a sudden it's wrong. So that's another thing I was going to talk to you about, bro. They've gone after the guy on Facebook, that, and they find him, but they want to ban TikTok. So that's kind of why I was going to say what your opinions are. But that being said, I'll go ahead and throw over to James so he could tell me what he thinks about that.
Notice that the problem isn't that they're stealing your information. Okay? That's not what people are saying the problem is. The problem is that they are sharing that information with China. The Chinese government has access to that information. That's the concern. Because the dirty truth of it is, man, your data, stealing your data, is the poison pill that will take down all social media. Because every single one of them does it. Every single one of them. They steal your data, they sell your data. If you're not paying for the product, okay, if you're not paying a fee in order to use the service, that means you are the product. No company is putting this up for free. They're getting paid. How are they getting paid? If you're not paying them, how are they getting paid? They're getting paid through advertising. And what are advertisers most interested in? Your data, your browsing history, your online habits, what you talk about. I mean, we've talked about on this show before how you'll mention something. You're talking to your wife and you mention, oh man, we got to get some dog food for the dog. And then you do your business, whatever, and then a couple minutes later you decide you're going to get online and scroll Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And next thing you know, you've got 5 or 6 different ads for dog food. And you're like, how the hell that's crazy. You know what I mean? That's what it is they can access your phone. They can turn on your camera. They can turn on your microphone. They can go through your text messages. They can go through your emails. They have access to all of it. And it's every single one of them. You are the product. It's not that TikTok is doing this and they're getting treated differently than Facebook, who is also doing it. That's not the issue. The issue is that the Chinese government might have access to that information. That's what everybody's concerned about. Now, what I think needs to happen, we need to have like an Internet Bill of Rights. We need to have something passed through Congress and signed by the president that guarantees our freedom of speech on the internet, and it guarantees that our data will not be stolen by these companies. Makes it illegal to do so. But the problem is, once you do that, it's the end of it. It's the end of all social media. Because nobody is going to have social media at that point. Because Facebook isn't going to keep being Facebook. If they can't steal your data and sell it, then in order for them to keep making money, they're going to have to start charging you. And that's what's going to end up happening is everybody's going to have to pay money to have a Facebook account, pay money to have a TikTok account, pay money to have a YouTube account, et cetera, et cetera. And once that happens, it's going to go the way of the buffalo. People are not going to pay all that money to have all these different social media sites. I mean, hell, they already nickel and dime you on everything. You want to watch a show? Well, shit, I got to get Apple TV if I want to watch this show, but then this show's on Netflix only, so I got to get Netflix for that show. And then, oh, I really wanted to see this movie coming out, but it's only on Peacock, so I guess I got to get Peacock. And then, oh, over here, I wanted to watch this show, it's really good, but it's only on Paramount Plus. That's how they do it now. And it's like, next thing you know, I mean, you end up, I have Apple TV, I have Prime Video, Peacock, Paramount Plus, Netflix, right? Um, oh my God, I can't remember them all. I have so many. I have Hulu, Disney Plus, the ESPN Plus thing that comes with it. Um, that's almost 10 already, and I know there's more. I just don't have it in front of me to look at it, but I know there's more than that. But that's almost 10 that I named right off the top of my head that I am subscribed to, that I pay a monthly fee to. And then in order to play video games, I have Xbox, and then I have Xbox Game Pass, Premium Plus, whatever the hell that is, Ubisoft Plus. They have like a EA Sports Plus. They have all this different stuff that you can get if you want to get this game or that game. They do it in everything. So next thing you know, you're racking up hundreds of dollars worth of monthly fees, and so they want to make social media just another one of those if they do that. And then you're gonna have to decide: is scrolling Facebook worth it? Is scrolling TikTok worth it? As far as the First Amendment side of this, as far as what we can say, I think that absolutely you have a right to speak your mind. The First Amendment does not protect you from saying things in a private company saying you can't say that. What the First Amendment is to guarantee that the government can't stop you from saying something, right? It has to do with the government, not private businesses. So that's why Facebook and YouTube and all these companies can get away with censoring you. I think that's bullshit. I don't think it should be like that. I think that you should have absolute freedom of speech. I think nobody should be allowed to shut you up. You should be allowed to say any damn thing you want to say. And nobody should be able to censor that. And then let the market decide. Let people decide what they want to see. But the problem is, it doesn't work like that. I mean, take YouTube, for example. We've done this show for 8 years, 9 years, whatever, right? Not this show, but Staring. But this show was actually the same time as Staring had started. But we just stopped doing it for a while. But we've been doing these shows for a long, long time. Now, back in the day, when we were doing them, we were getting 10, 15, 20,000 views. We've got shows with over 100,000. I've got millions of views, right? And we used to get a lot of views on YouTube. And then along came the pandemic, and we told you the truth about the pandemic, and overnight, our views went from thousands within the first hour or two we put it up to 10 or 15 after the first couple of days. Not 1,000, not 10 or 15,000, like 10 or 15 views. 2 or 3,000 the first hour, 10 or 15 the first day. See the difference? Overnight. And then on top of that, 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers gone. Blink of an eye. Disappeared. I had people messaging me saying, hey man, did you like kick us off the YouTube or something? We're not subscribed to you anymore. What happened? We didn't unsubscribe. So how did we get unsubscribed? I said, I don't know, man. I guess you just got to resubscribe. I'm sorry. I didn't do anything. So what happened was YouTube didn't like what we were saying. So they did a thing called shadow banning us. They shit canned a bunch of our subscribers from us, and they stopped notifying our subscribers when the new shows came out, and they stopped sharing our show. Like our show used to be on the main page of YouTube a lot. But after that COVID show, no more. Not a single time since that I'm aware of. Now, every once in a while, we'll have videos that really catch on and they'll break out and they'll get some views. But that shit's ridiculous. I mean, I should be able to tell you the truth without some damn company coming in and saying, oh, nope, sorry, you're not allowed to tell the truth on this platform. So now we're going to completely destroy your channel and destroy your views, destroy your audience, destroy everything. It's bullshit. You can't tell me you can't tell me that I lost that many viewers overnight when the exact same show aired on the radio, and I still have an audience of millions on the radio. Didn't lose any audience on the. If anything, I gained audience on the radio. But on YouTube, all of a sudden, thousands of people said, "Oh, nope, not for me." Bullshit. And you're telling me every video since then they've just not been interested in, except for a few? Bullshit. We had an audience that always showed up and listened to stuff. They still do on the radio. They still do on the radio. When we put the stuff up on Spotify, we don't have that problem. It's only YouTube. And it's only because we did a couple shows that they didn't like what we said. I think that's bullshit. Especially because I was right. I was telling you the damn truth, and now everything I said has been proven true. But they tried to destroy our career. They did destroy the channel. I mean, this channel is now a shadow of its former self. I mean, we still hang on and we still make videos and we're trying to build it back, you know? But I mean, honestly, it gets to the point of apathy. It gets to the point where you just don't really give a shit anymore. Because it's like, why the fuck am I bothering? Nobody's watching this. I mean, I'm putting on a good show. You know, people on the radio love it. People on other platforms love it. Why am I bothering with YouTube when they're not letting anybody know it's there? And I think that's absolute horseshit. You know, they shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's criminal in my eyes. Especially because I was telling the fucking truth. And that ain't right. You know, but as far as First Amendment for the TikTok thing goes, it doesn't really apply to what we're talking about. Because remember, we're talking about the owner of TikTok, whether they're going to ban the platform or force him to sell it if he doesn't want it to be banned. Well, that's kind of a fuck thing. You can't force somebody to sell their business. That's not right. You know? But the issue is if the Chinese government is really getting all of our data and has access to all that shit, then that's not cool either. You know, but the dirty secret, like I said, they all have access anyway. You know, so that's the main thing. But the First Amendment doesn't apply to him because he's not a U.S. citizen. He's a foreigner. He's from China. The U.S. Constitution only applies to United States citizens. It guarantees us those rights, not other countries' people those rights. So, I mean, it's not really a First Amendment issue. It's a morality issue. I mean, I would go there because it's not right to try to force somebody to sell their business, especially if you don't have proof. Now, see, I'm confused about all of this. To be completely honest with you guys, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Because in the beginning, Trump and everybody else was saying that they needed to ban TikTok because the Chinese government has access to your information. They're stealing your information. Am I fucking losing my mind? Is this another Mandela effect that I don't know about? Do you guys remember that shit? I remember that shit. I remember Trump talking about it when he was running for president the first time, that they needed to ban TikTok. And I remember everybody agreeing with it, that TikTok was stealing your information. Now, why were they saying that then if they didn't have proof? And why are they now saying they don't? It's confusing. It doesn't make any sense. Something stinks here. Somebody has vomited in the garden. It stinks. I don't know what's happening. But somebody's full of shit somewhere. Because you don't go from being that sure that they are actually stealing the data, it's a horrible thing, we need to ban them, to, well, there's really no evidence of it, you know. So until we have evidence, we're not going to do anything about it. Wait a minute. What the fuck? What changed here, guys? What changed? Now, keep in mind, take what I'm saying right now with a grain of salt. Because I did not hear Trump say that. Old boy said he said that. Right? I'm not calling old boy a liar. I'm just saying I didn't personally hear it with my own ears. So I'm not 100% sure Trump actually said that. But if he did say that, what the fuck? Because that's not what he was saying like 2016ish. That's not what all of government was saying. That's not what all of Washington was saying. That's not what every talk radio host was saying. Every news host was saying. They were all saying the same thing. That China was definitely stealing our shit through TikTok and it needed to be banned. So why the change? Like I said, am I crazy? You guys do remember that, right? I'm not the only one. Now, I know that sounds silly to ask, but I got to ask that shit because I'm sure you guys have heard of Mandela effects, man. There's all kinds of shit like that that I remember one way and then come to find out it's a completely different fucking thing. But I'm not the only one that remembers it that way. A shit ton of people remember the same thing I remember. So I just don't understand what's happening. Why all of a sudden are we not banning TikTok? Why all of a sudden is it like such a big deal? Is it because people like it? Well, who gives a fuck? I mean, basically, what it comes down to is this, man. If China is spying on us through TikTok, then fuck TikTok. Get it out of here. It doesn't matter if you like it. Who gives a shit if you like it? It's a national security issue, man. If they're spying on us through that fucking app, that app's got to go. Point blank and period. And you can't even tell me you can sell it to an American company and it'll be fine. You don't know what kind of bullshit's in that app. You'd have to go through that code line by line and make sure there ain't no landmines in there. That there ain't no hidden shit that's still going to do it. It'll take forever to figure that shit out. You're better off just scrapping it and starting over again. You know, you shouldn't be allowed to have foreign apps in America like that. You know, if they have ties to a foreign government, what the fuck are we doing? Because you know our government people are dumbasses too, right? See, everybody thinks our government people are some brilliant fucking people. They put them up on this pedestal like they're brilliant. They're not. They're a bunch of dumbasses. I mean, shit, look at how everything's fucking broken all the time. I'll tell you how stupid these people are. They're not bright people. Look at people like Nancy Pelosi, AOC. These people are fucking stupid. And you know they're dumbasses. They're sitting there on TikTok, scrolling and acting stupid. They're not paying attention to what the fuck's going on. They're more worried about insider trading and making money. So the problem is, if they have access to your phone, you may think, well, what the fuck do they care whether I went to McDonald's and had a double cheeseburger or not? They probably don't give a shit about your fat ass. I mean, yes, they want to know where you've been and what you're doing so they can sell that to advertisers to make some coin off your dumb ass, but they don't give a shit about you. But if you're doing it, I guarantee you people in our government are also doing it. They're also scrolling TikTok all the time. They got it on their damn phone. So then it steals all their information. Can go through their emails and their messages. Whoop, sorry. Top secret shit on them, huh? That's the problem. And you can say, well, James, it's actually separate. They have a separate phone for government work, and they have this for this work, and we know that's horseshit. We know that's horseshit because Hillary Clinton had a fucking server in her basement loaded with top secret shit that Russia and China and Iran and everybody had access to. Unsecured, man. Why do you think we wanted her stupid ass thrown in jail? The bottom line and the sad truth of the matter is the reason why the Democrat Party are protecting China all the time is because they're bought and paid for by China. That's the reason. Because China has infiltrated our government on both sides of the aisle. And they're paying these fucking people off for access, for influence. That's the problem. Now, am I afraid of China? No, I'm not afraid of China. Fuck China. We'll whoop China's ass in a fight. That's just the bottom line. But the problem with China is they got all that money. And the reason they got all that money is because they're undervaluing their currency and they're heading for a big crash at some point. But until that happens, they're printing way too much money. And they can just spread that shit around and buy people off. And the sad truth is, the majority of the government is for sale. Those people are dirty. Most of them are dirty. And they're selling your ass out. So do I want Tiger Bomb? Do I want Dragon? Do I want Celeste? Do I want people like that to lose their businesses? No, I don't want that. God bless them. I hope that they make millions and millions of dollars. I don't want them to lose their shit. But at the same time, I also don't want the Chinese government to have yet another way to spy on everybody. And I think that all of us should be protected from all of social media doing that shit. I mean, old boy mentioned I don't even really get on social media much anymore. Every once in a while I'll get on and share something, but not very often. I don't spend that much time at all scrolling all that stuff. It's because it's nonsense. All of it is fucking stupid. I mean, no matter what you're scrolling, you scroll Instagram, what do you got? You got pictures of women trying to show their ass off to make a little bit of money. Instagram also, for whatever reason, decides, you know what this guy probably wants to see right now? A car accident. Yeah, let's do that. Let's show a car crashing into a fucking brick wall and somebody flying through the windshield or something horrible like that. I'm sure that's what he wants to see. The fuck is wrong with you, Instagram? Why? First of all, why the fuck is that shit even on your platform, dude? Who the fuck wants to see that? What kind of sick fuck wants to watch that stuff, man? It's horrible. So I don't scroll that very often because I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see some fucking brain dead girl shaking her ass, making duck lips and acting stupid, trying to make money off me. I don't give a shit about that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a car accident. I don't want to see people get trampled by bulls. I don't want to see any of this nastiness. I mean, the whole point of Instagram was you could scroll it and see your friends. Say, oh, look, yeah, my buddy Joe over there, he got him and his wife are expecting a new kid. Look, man, she's getting big. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, look, they did a gender reveal. We just found out it's a little boy. That's awesome. That's the whole point of Instagram. It used to be, is you could see pictures of your friends and their families. That shit's cool. You know? Then for some reason everybody wanted to show what they ate for dinner. I never got that, but okay. That's cool. I don't mind. Show what you ate for dinner. I don't give a shit. That's fine. But don't show me that nasty shit. I don't want to see the nasty shit all the time. It's gross. I don't want to see it. Facebook, you scroll that shit. All Facebook is anymore is people arguing about shit they don't understand and nonsense. That's pretty much it. And then, of course, you have women showing their ass. I mean, pretty much women showing their ass is going to be a constant across all of this because that's the way it is now for some reason. You know, women think that the way to make money is just to show their ass, and everybody wants to see it, so they'll pay. You know, that's kind of the thing. You know, and I don't know. I got my opinions on that. You know, I'm not coming down on the women for it really. Uh, I don't think it's very attractive in most cases to act all slutty like that. You know, it's you might get guys that are a little thirsty and might want to hit you up, but you're never going to get anything meaningful. You're never going to find somebody that will actually give a shit about you doing that. Because the problem is you don't want to take a girl like that home to your mama. You know, that's not who you're going to marry and spend your life with is some whore. You know, you're just not going to do it. And people can get mad at me for that. That's fine. I mean, you have the right as a woman if you want to do that. Fine, go ahead. But I'm telling you, it's not attractive. You know, it's not. That's not marriage material. That's not somebody that you want to spend your life with. You don't want to have to deal with that all the time. You know, another thing that women do constantly that ain't attractive is run their fucking mouth all the time now. That shit is ridiculous. Women are the mouthiest fucking things on the planet. Just all the time. What the fuck is up with that, man? Who wants to hear all that nonsense constantly? And it's exhausting. It's got to be. I mean, I see it when I'm scrolling on social media and women are just fucking going ballistic about this, that, or the other thing, just fucking bitching, bitching, bitching. Who gives a shit? Here's the problem: when you take a bunch of little kids and you give them trophies for not winning, you tell them all that they're special and that they matter, all this shit, right? Then they believe that nonsense. And then they grow up and then they think that their opinion matters and that people actually give a shit what they have to say. So then you get everybody spouting off talking stupid shit, and it's like, dude, I don't give a fuck what you're saying right now. You know, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a moron. Why the fuck do I care what Joe Blow down the street fucking thinks about some massively complex issue they don't understand? You know, I don't know. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You know, when we talked about TikTok on Staring before and on this show before, and it's usually in a derogatory manner. And the reason for that is when we're talking about it, we're talking about paranormal TikTok. Okay. And the problem with paranormal TikTok is it's not actually filled with very many real paranormal people. What paranormal TikTok is a bunch of idiots who steal other people's video and they put it into like a compilation and they just sit there like this and watch it. That's the whole video. Like imagine over here where old boy screen is, that's the video that somebody else made that's playing. And they're just sitting here going, making stupid faces and reacting. That's all it is. And you got a lot of that shit on YouTube now too. There's all these fucking reaction videos. You know, people are watching other people's work and just reacting to it. And they get all kinds of views. People must like watching it. I don't think it's because they like watching the reactor, because they're always telling the reactor to shut the fuck up so they can actually watch the real video. But here's the problem: the reactor has to speak. They can't not say anything because, like, take YouTube for example. On YouTube, you can't play somebody else's work for too long because if you do, you get a copyright strike and they can take the money from your video, right? So what they do is they'll play it for a tiny bit of time and then stop it and then talk. And then they'll play it again and then stop it and talk. I've had to do that when I've done some political videos during the election stuff. When I would share with you guys clips of speeches and stuff like that, I would have to stop them and talk during them because I couldn't just let it play. And a lot of people would get pissy about that. They're like, why don't you shut up and just let us watch the video? And to that, I would say, guys, I hear you. I would love to shut the fuck up and just let you watch the video. That'd be great. Unfortunately, I can't. I can't put this video on my YouTube channel if I don't interrupt it. Because if I don't interrupt it, then I'm going to get a copyright strike. And then you get like 3 copyright strikes, your channel's nuked, you're gone. You know, so you got to be really fucking careful about that shit. So unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation, you know. But these people aren't doing it to show you a speech or something like that that's important. They're just literally watching TikTok videos, most of them. And they're just reacting to them. They're watching other people's videos that they made and just reacting. And that's really, really popular. And it's silly. And I don't get it. I don't understand why you'd want to watch somebody watching somebody else's video. Just go watch that video. You know? I guess it's because you get a compilation of a bunch of them. So you can literally sit there and put up with that annoying idiot that's interrupting just so you can see a whole bunch of videos in a row that you don't have to go search out. You know, maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. But paranormal TikTok is ridiculous because it's that and it's people they always play like spooky music and you know going on in the fucking background and they have like some AI voice that'll come on and be like the year was 1942 or whatever. And they'll give like a story about the bullshit, right? And they'll show the video or they'll show these obviously fake ass videos that aren't even good fake videos. They're just shitty fake videos, right? They're so obviously fake. And they'll be like, witnesses reported seeing this monster in the hills of this city or whatever during this time. And they'll say, what do you think? Do you think this is a monster? Blah, 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 blah. And it's just nonsense. You know, everybody looking at it can say, that's bullshit. That's not real at all. It's so obvious. Like they have one that I saw the other day where some guy's walking down the street. And this is supposedly surveillance footage, right? And they say, oh, we captured it on 2 different cameras. So this dude's walking down the street. Now, first of all, when a guy's walking down the street, it doesn't look like a man walking down the street. Like he is not solid, like a person. It's flickery and blending in and out and shit like that. So right away, red flags, right? But he's walking down the street, and then all of a sudden, he comes up to this wall here, and he just walks right into the wall and disappears. And they're like, "What's going on? This is crazy. Is it a portal to another dimension? Is this a time traveler? All this nonsense, right? Hyping it up like it's some big fucking thing." And it's like, no, dumbass, that's obviously not a real person walking. That's obviously something that you edited in. It's some special effect bullshit you're doing. You know, and it's so easy to tell if you have an open mind and you have an eye for detail. One, like I said, the fucker's flickering the whole time. It's not some person walking down the street. It's all fucked up. Two, you can literally watch him walk. And you can see here, and you can see here. In front of him, behind him, beside him. All four sides you can see. Bright ass street lights shining down, lighting up the area. Not a shadow in sight. He ain't got a shadow in front of him. He ain't got a shadow behind him. He ain't got a shadow either other direction. No shadow. So you want me to believe that this fella's walking down the street somehow not casting a shadow at all in light. And he just disappears into a wall. And then you want to say it's a portal or a time traveler? Fuck you. You're an idiot. You're faking shit, and you're getting dumb people to watch it and to think it's some grand, amazing paranormal bullshit, right? And the problem is those are the kind of people that will literally argue with me on one of my videos or something. And they're like, well, yeah, well, I saw on TikTok this, this, or this. And I'm like, yeah, but that shit's not real, guy. Don't you understand? You know what I mean? That's the problem. People don't have any discernment anymore, man. They don't have the capability to understand what is real and what isn't real. And it's sad. It's so fucking sad to see. And you see these people making these fake ass dumb videos and hyping them up with the stupid music. And then you look at the views and it's like 800,000, 900,000, 1.6 million views. And you're like, what the fuck, man? What the actual fuck? That's nonsense. You know? So all of it is fucked. The whole system is fucked. And the whole system is stealing your information. So in all reality, we all need that to stop. But if it does stop, we will no longer have social media to play with unless we want to pay for it. And I'm pretty sure that most of you are not going to pay for it. I'm not going to pay for it. I don't give a shit about it enough to pay for it. It's not valuable to me. You know, it used to be. It used to be something that was fun. It used to be something that you could scroll and see your friends and see pictures of them and, you know, get little updates on how their life is going. It was a really nice thing. In the beginning, it was awesome because you could catch up with people that you hadn't seen in a long time. But those days are kind of gone, man. That doesn't happen much anymore. Now it's mostly ads and mostly nonsense and people spouting off and arguing back and forth and fighting all the time. And the funny thing is they never know what the hell they're talking about. You know, that's the sad part of it. Is they're usually full of shit. And then when someone tries to actually tell the truth and say what's real, then everybody calls them a liar, you know, and they get put in Facebook jail and all that bullshit. It's stupid. And as far as the old boy said about fact checking, I don't like fact checkers. I don't like the fact checking idea at all. Because here's the problem: who determines what's true? Because we have fact checkers now on Facebook, and they're full of shit. I've been fact checked a million times. I got fact checked before putting up a video of a speech. Literally, you could watch the fucking person say exactly what I said they said out of their own mouth. You can watch it. And I got fact checked on it. I got fact checked when I put up the official government documents of things. I'll say, hey, look, this document says this. And I put the fucking picture of the document up. And I got a fact check on it. And got in trouble. Got like a fucking weekend ban or a 30-day ban or some bullshit over it. It's like, what the fuck, man? It's right there. Look at it. But the problem is, there's no recourse. There's nothing you can do about it. They just ban your fucking ass. And yes, you can appeal it. Makes no difference. I've never won an appeal. And it doesn't make any sense because literally you can watch the fucking guy say what I said he said right on the speech I put up. It's right there. That's the whole point of what I posted. But yet you say it's not true because it makes you look bad and it's not good for your side politically. And then when I appeal it, you don't give a shit. You just tell me fuck off. So it's not a fair system. It's a rigged system. So I don't like the idea of, well, just put a fact checker in there because you can't trust the fucking fact checkers. They're full of shit. Look at all the debates we've had. Damn near every single debate, the fact checker comes in, they fact check Trump, and they're always full of shit. And then after the debate, people look the shit up and say, wait a minute, they were lying the whole time about what he said. You know, it's bullshit. Fact checking is bullshit. X does a pretty good job. X has something called community notes. And basically what that is all the people who look at the post, like the regular users, they can type little notes about it. So, like, say somebody comes on and says something that's obviously bullshit, then you can go on there and put a community note that it's bullshit and this is why, and look it up and you'll find out, right? And you get enough people to do that, and then people say, well, look, everybody says this guy's full of shit. You know, that's a lot better system. But it still relies on people to know what the fuck they're talking about. And that's unfortunately is a weak spot in our society because not many people know what the fuck they're talking about anymore. Most people are brain dead idiots. You know, at least on social media, you see a lot of it, man. And maybe I see a lot of it because I'm just in that space where a lot of people are arguing with me about shit all the time. You know, I don't really argue much anymore with anybody. It's not worth my time. I don't give a shit. Think what you want, man. I'm done trying to convince people. I'm done trying to to teach people like the truth. And who gives a shit, man? Believe what you want. It's not worth it to me, man. It's not worth the fucking headache and the argument and having to deal with it nonstop from all these fucking idiots. I just don't care. You know, who gives a shit? Believe what you want. You're wrong, most likely, but fuck it. I'll tell you what the truth is. And if you don't like it, you don't want to believe it, fine. Believe what you want. One thing I'm not going to do is fucking argue with you. I just don't care. You know, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. You're going to say what you're going to say, and then we're going to move on with our life. You know, because I'm not spending hours of my time back and forth with some dipshit online. It's just, who gives a damn, man? It's not worth it. I just don't give a shit. You know, I'm just so disillusioned with all of it. It's all nonsense. I just wish I could go back. I just want to go back in time. You know, I hope the time travel does become a reality someday. I just want to go to fuck back in time to before all this bullshit happened. You know what I mean? And just like live in the Wild West or like ancient times or some shit like that. Get away from modern society, get away from this liberalism and these fucking retards. I can't stand them. They're fucking stupid people. You know, and all they ever do is bitch and moan and whine constantly. Constantly. You know? And you got a bunch of it with this TikTok issue too. It's just the problem is people don't know what they're talking about. That's the issue. Because none of us know, right? There'll be people who'll come on and say they know, but nobody really knows as far as whether or not it needs to be banned. You have opinions, but even the people who are running shit are changing their story. So, what happened? Let's go back to that. Like I said in the beginning, what happened? Why has the story changed? What I think about it is if you can prove that China has access to that information, that they're actually getting it, then get rid of the son of a bitch. You know, if you can't, then I don't see why you would ban it. I mean, yes, it makes people stupid. Yes, they're focusing on nonsense. And like over in China, their version of TikTok is all science and math and stuff that builds their society. And ours is shaking our ass and doing stupid shit. You know, yes, I understand all that. But what do you expect's going to happen? I mean, you took over the fucking school system, the liberals did, and they ruined it. You know, they're too busy teaching gender studies and all this fucking dumb shit that doesn't matter that people shouldn't be talking about in school, and they're not teaching history and science, the real shit. They're not doing it. They're wasting time teaching stupid shit. So what happens when you don't teach people how to think? They don't think, and then you get a bunch of dumb fucks who don't even know whether they're a boy or a girl because you've confused the shit out of them. It's dumb, man. Our society is just so fucked, and I just hope that Trump and RFK and Tulsi and all of them, I hope that they can fucking pull us out of the gutter, man. I hope they can fix it. It's a hell of a job. I'm gonna tell you that it's gonna be a hell of a job because either way you look at it, we got a generation of dipshits, couple generations actually of dipshits that we got to try to fix. And yeah, you can fix the systemic problems that the Democrat Party has created, right? You can fix those problems, but how do you fix those people? You got a whole generation, a couple generations of stupid people who were never taught properly and they don't know shit. Now, granted, it's not every single person. I'll say that right up front. It's not every single person, but it's a lot of them. A lot of people are just very dumb anymore. And you watch any man on the street type interview, man, by the late shows and all that, all of them do it, where they go on the street and they ask simple questions that any damn third grader should be able to answer. And these dumbass people have no idea. And you know that shit is true because you've met people like that in your own life. There are people in your own life who can't even tell you who the vice president is. You know, I remember in this last election, they were going down into the inner cities and they were asking a bunch of people if they were going to vote for Kamala. Them motherfuckers, half of them didn't even know who Kamala was. The bitch is running for president. You don't know who the fuck she is? That's crazy. And then, right after not knowing who the hell she was, they decide they're going to wax poetic about what they need to get their vote, what they think ought to happen. Dude, you've already disqualified yourself. You don't even know who the fuck's running. So why should I listen to your opinion on anything? You're uninformed. You know, it's sad, man. It's sad, and it's going to be a rough job to do because they're not going to just go away. These people are going to fight and fight and fight all the way to the end. They're doing it now. You know, they're doing it now, and it's going to be rough. I'll just say that. I'm looking to see rioting. I'm looking to see craziness happening before this shit gets fixed. You know, so everybody just get ready. You know, gird your loins, keep your head down, and understand what's coming. You know, we got a fight coming. It's not going to be just, okay, Trump won, now let's fix everything and go home. I wish it was. That's not what's going to happen because the Democrats are not going to give up. You know, they're gonna fight till the death, and that's what it's going to be. You know, you're going to have BLM out there rioting. You're going to have Antifa out there rioting. All that same nonsense that happens every fucking time. It's already started. It's ramping up right now as we speak. Oh boy, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, the whole TikTok thing now, and I'm glad James has got a point. I see where James is 50-50, just like I am. There shouldn't be banned if they find out. I just sent you both of the things about Trump saying it isn't. Yeah, he changed what he said. 4 years ago, he did say that, but 6 months ago, he said he doesn't want it, and now he's talking. He wants somebody to come and buy it. But it's I sent it to you, but he was saying he doesn't want it banned now. He's trying to get Byton. I just saw Byton. I think that's the name. He's trying to get them to buy the company now. He's getting involved in it. So, whatever. And that's what I just sent you, both of those interviews now. So I did see what you're talking about. He did say 4 and 3 years ago he wanted to ban when he was the president. Now he's changing shit because he was using TikTok and people change, bro. You know, that was 4 years ago. Now he's changing because he had people. He saw that his son does use it a lot, so I think that's kind of why he's changing his opinion. He did that with Rogan. He went on Rogan's show because his other son told him to go on there, and his son's independent, and he listened to his son. And that's what Trump really did change the way he ran this time, and he did it absolutely different. Working at McDonald's, going to these things, he opened his mind. I think that changed the whole tide of the election in those 2 months. And he did stuff that people didn't think he was doing. Now he's listening and he's talking about all kinds of shit. And that's what you guys need. Watch that interview. It was last night. It's an hour and 16 minutes. It's on NBC. We actually went on NBC and did it. And it was actually, and you guys need to check it out. And it talks about a lot of stuff that James wants to, you'll hear and stuff like that. But TikTok, in my opinion, I think we need to really see what we're going to do. I think selling it would be probably the best idea instead of people losing money. If we could sell it to an American company, and that's what Trump wants to do, because I get it. It's going to cause a lot of shit. And it's going to, if the Supreme Court's going to probably pick it up, and we're going to have to at least sit on this for 6 months. If another company comes and buys it, they regulate it. Yes, it's not going to be perfect right away. But just like you said, we have to do something, because somebody else is just going to make another company and do the same shit again. And then we're going to have the same problem. And I get it, whatever. But I think we need to really find the truth about this now. If, like I said, Trump said he's seen where they haven't proved this yet. And that's the problem. Is what we do is we need to find out more about it. And then if they find out it is, then yeah, ban it. Like you're saying, I agree. But if they haven't proved it yet, then we got to find out the truth. And I think they should give more time. That's what I think. We need to investigate it for a while. And if it's the truth, then that's it. If it's not, then sell the fucking company and we deal with it and keep it open and shut the fuck up. Because people are stealing our information, not just, okay, it's just, and then they're just going to have 500 other ones that they use. So it doesn't matter. So it is what it is. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We've been doing it for way over an hour. Sorry, guys, my throat's getting sore. Just so you guys know, if you want to watch our shows, go to Spotify. The problem was Spotify didn't let us do 2 different channels, so it's on Staring Into the Abyss. People are having an issue with that. Just go and find We're Screwed. Another issue people are having, we don't have Staring on or We're Screwed on one channel on YouTube. It's under James Hershey's name, and people, well, because that's how we do it. That's what a lot of people have been having issues. I see that, but that's just the way we do things. We put all our shows on there, and all that information's free on YouTube and Spotify and whatever the fuck we put it on, maybe in Apple. Sooner or later, and then more views. We get a lot of views outside of this country, especially when we do Parax Radio. But we don't put this show on Parax Radio, Spotify, and YouTube. And YouTube sucks, guys. And I don't hate YouTube. It's just they've changed, and they're not what they were 10 years. Gotta be honest with you, we would have started this show 10 years before this, or 5 years before this. We would have been on TV and been somewhere. The problem is this is a different world. This is it's going to be, it's 24, but what is it, tomorrow the 11th, 23 days, it's going to be a new year. It's fucking crazy. And this is our, this show's been on, we did it 8.5 years ago, and then we stopped, and we started doing Staring because we had to. There was we're a skeleton crew. We had 3 people from the 7, 8 people we had on the show. 9 people actually at one time, or 10. We down to 3, and we had to change it. So we did both the shows, and we figured out that one was blowing up, and then we got screwed because we have haters. A lot of people got mad because we were doing a good job, and then they would complain and bitch about James's religion and what I believe in, and we talked about stuff that they didn't want to hear about, like COVID, and that's what the issue became. Because Staring, we were trying to do a lot more with it, and now we can cuss and swear, and Parax is pretty good. They let us do what we want pretty much, other than we can't talk about politics, because we would have this show on We're Screwed. My personal opinion, we should just buy Parax Radio, and then we can fucking play what we want on it, or we should make our own station, James, and play fucking call it something Revolution Radio and bring it back and do our own shit on Mixler, and then we can say what we want. Mixler, we did pretty well. The only thing is Mixler got too damn, you had to pay for everything, and that's what everybody wants you to do, pay. And it's not, the point is that $4 or $5 is a lot or anything. It's just bullshit. And then you want to tell us how to do stuff? No, we're going to do what we want. On here, I don't have to listen to you. Spotify, Spotify, you have a free account. I mean, let's be honest. If you paid for Spotify, they put you higher up. See, that's what the problem is. A lot of these channels, you have to, like James was talking about earlier, this comes into everything. If you paid, like we paid for YouTube, James, we would have a bigger audience on YouTube. I tell you this right now. I already could tell you that. I know people who pay for it. That's a whole different story. If we paid for Spotify, I have a Spotify account. If we paid for Spotify, they put your stuff up on a priority. People who pay, they put it up on a higher priority. More people are going to see it. That was the one thing. And Spotify is not expensive. You know what, James? I'm going to be honest with you. I might buy an account. It's only like they give me a deal for like 6 months to read out $2 a month. I mean, that's not really that bad. As maybe just go that route, just get the premium so we can get a lot more reviews. I don't care. Yeah, so go ahead.
I had the premium for quite a while because my wife
Yeah.
wanted it because she listens to a lot of podcasts and she wanted to cut out the commercials. But the problem with the premium, I got rid of it because for a while it was fine, right? But then they started adding in commercials to the premium as well. So it's like now you're paying every month to not have commercials, and now
Yeah.
you still got fucking commercials. So you have the commercials and you have the commercials that they do on every show because every show has the ads that they read. You know, they'll get sponsors and they'll sit there and read fucking ads throughout the whole show, and it's annoying as shit. So like I'm paying all this money. Well, it's not a ton of money, but it's paying money every month to have the top premium thing, but I'm still having to listen to fucking commercials anyway. So I said, well, you know what? If you're going to do that, I'm not giving you my money anymore. All the streaming services are doing that, man. The only one that I have, and I have a shit ton of them, the only one that I have that doesn't play commercials still is Netflix. Every other one now plays commercials that you have to sit through, which is horseshit. Why should I have to pay a monthly fee to have your streaming service and then you're still fucking playing commercials? I might as well watch Tubi. Tubi's 100% free. I got to watch commercials for Tubi, but so what? I got to fucking watch commercials on Peacock, on Paramount, on fucking Hulu, on everything that I pay for has commercials now. It's bullshit. But that's what I want to say about the premium. I did have it for quite a while, but they fucked me on the commercials again, so I told them to go fuck themselves.
Well, I was gonna tell you it's only like $2.99 right now, so they're really hurting because everybody's going to Apple. They're paying 12. I mean, $2.99 for like I'm getting deals because I used to be a member. That's not bad. $2.99. I could deal with the commercials on that price. I mean, that's. But iHeart's only like $3.99 now. That's what I was gonna tell you. Maybe we could go on that route. I want to get more followers. We got all over the world, but We're Screwed has just started, so that's why I'm not really mad about that. We've only been doing it for a few months, and that's something we're gonna build. I would love to get it on something like Howard Stern's gone. He's leaving. Just so to put it out there, who does who what are they called? The one that did Howard Stern, the people that own the rights.
It was Sirius, and they merged with XM, so it's like Sirius XM.
Well, Sirius, if you hear us out there, either show, staring, we could do both in the mixture of thing. We'll be very controversial, yes, but you would have people listening to us, trust me. And I'm giving a shout if any of them ever hear us. We're very controversial, yes, but it'll be pretty funny. We would do is the show we are going away from just going serious. We have serious and then we'll have funny shit. We could do that, like Howard Stern. That's what I really wanted, but I wanted the way we would have to do it is get other people, and we would have you guys laughing. We wouldn't just have James sitting here, yelling about stuff. He also likes funny shit. The show originally was like that. We would talk about. Remember the guy got caught raping guys' asses or something? Or, remember that guy? I remember we did that show. That was a long time ago. That was a good one. That was a weird one. But I remember we would talk about stuff and it was just different, a different time, and we would just talk about crazy shit, like guy got caught in a zoo or something, in a tiger bit his ass. I mean, that shit's funny. But now it's kind of more of a serious atmosphere. But I would love to do something like that because Howard Stern was serious, but he did some funny shit. But I don't know if we can get away with the shit he did anymore. But on there, it's a different story. But we could do that. We could be funny on top of it. We do funny shit all the time. I think we can. We're just naturally. We've been doing this shit together for 9 years, guys. We know how to. I know when he's gonna say shit. I know he knows what I'm saying. Sometimes it's hard to have another person. Andy's a good guy. He's just not used to radio, and he has a job. He's got to worry about shit more than I do. And I get it. He's a manager. I get that. You got to watch what you say because then somebody at work, it caused shit at work. And you know what? That's understandable. And he also has to work. He's a manager, so stuff has to comes up. It's not his fault. He just is a different kind of person. And we've been doing this for a while, and he's getting better than he was a couple of months ago. He's got used to being on radio, and that's what it is. You got to realize I could do this show live and not, we all have mistakes, but it doesn't matter. I've done live shows numerous times. We used to do Parax Radio live, and we used to do live shows. I've done live interviews. I've been on numerous dozens of shows. Other people say there's people want us on now. The point is, I can't be who I want to be. I got to be a certain person. And it comes into, are you a Satanist and all that? And I don't want to talk about that shit. I don't care about people's religion. That's not my topic because it gets talked about so much. I don't give a fuck. I don't have to explain to you what I believe in, and I don't want to hear about it. And I don't care what you believe in. I'm just saying in general. And that's the way we do things. And I want people to realize this show's different. We're going to have funny shit on it sometimes. We had some funny shit on the last show. Just how we do it. And it could be a mixture. We could talk about clowns next show or something. That's just the weird shit that we talk about. We could talk about stuff. And Staring is a great show. I love Staring, and I'm never going to give up because we've done so much shit on it for 354, almost 400 episodes. No one's going to be able to match that. And I think we do it as good as anybody. We're paranormal field. It's just the point is, me and James are very controversial people, and we don't care. He's an alpha, I'm a sigma. It just doesn't mix. We just don't give a fuck. And I love James, and we'll have an argument, and 10 minutes later we'll talk about it. But people have got to realize that's how our show is. That's just how it goes. You don't like it, you can not listen to it or fuck off. I don't care. If you like listen to us, we love you guys. And that being said, check us out on Staring in the Abyss every Sunday nights, 12 a.m. and 9 Pacific on Parax Radio and Spotify. And check this show out whenever. We don't have a set time. We just put it out there like a day or two after on YouTube and Spotify. There's not a set date. That's one thing. We don't set dates. We do once a week. I would love to do 2 days a week. I like to be on radio. And one day we will. Just so you know, my book will be out in a couple weeks. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's about No Face, Evil Without a Face. It's going to be out sooner than later. It's going to be you know what? This time I actually got to give this man a lot of credit. I want to give a shout out to this man because the last book, 2 books, they didn't fucking give me any money. I sold books and I'm still waiting to get my money from publisher. I did it independently through Amazon, and I've listened to him, and that's what we're doing. We're doing the 70-30 thing, and I'm going through independent. I'm listening to what he said. And we're going to go through Amazon. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the book. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And it was interesting. And that being said, I hope you guys have a good night. And I love you guys. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, I want to do some fun shows, man. Now that the election's over, we can get out of the seriousness of we got to talk about the issues, we got to talk about this, and this, whatever's in the news cycle. I like to do some fun shows, man. Maybe do Cards Against Humanity one time or something. Just some fucking goofy shit. Just have some fun again. That was so much fun. Like, people don't know if you haven't seen the original We're Screwed. It was such a fun show. Yes, we have our rants every once in a while. I'd go on a rant, or old boy would go on a rant, or whatever. But the spirit of this show was always just basically what our logo here is. Just a big fucking middle finger to the world. Fuck you. We're gonna have fun. We don't give a shit what you have to say. That was literally the theme of the show, and we just had a good time. You know, what kind of ruined that original show was some of the people on it were kind of dumbasses that would say, just like, you be in the middle of talking about something important, and then somebody start talking about their balls or something stupid, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Come on, what are you doing? You know what I mean? That kind of dumb shit. But it was a fun show, man. We had a lot of good times, and I want to do some fun shows like that again. We've done a few. We did I thought the one on the ranking of the movie killers and stuff was a really good show. That was a fun one. I like to do more stuff like that, and just have some fun with it, and not be so fucking serious all the time. The funny thing is, like, I'm known as a horror guy, right? Because I write horror novels. So that's what I'm famous for. But I don't even really watch a whole lot of horror movies. Like I watch the big ones, but I'm a comedy guy. I love stand-up comedy. I love comedy movies. And in my real actual life, I'm funny as hell. I'm always being goofy and cracking my wife up and cracking. An old boy can tell you, he talks to me outside of here. I'm a funny fucking guy. I'm not like Mr. Serious all the time. It's funny because on this show and on Staring, it's like I'm the serious guy all the time. But I'm not that in real life. Yes, I am a serious guy, and yes, I know the things I say I know, and I've done the things I say I've done. That's none of that is a lie. But it's just in my actual real life off the air, I'm a funny, fun loving guy. I'm not so serious all the time. But if you just watch just the shows, you would think that I'm always just rigid and let's just the facts, man. We're just going to talk about the facts. You know what I mean? That's not who I am. So I'd like to get back to doing some fun shit. You know, a lot of the early shows that we did of this were pretty fucking hilarious. When we were talking like some of the stuff we talk about was we were talking about survival one time, and I was talking about how I made a canoe one time out of a tree I cut down, and they were ribbon.
Revolution Radio.
Yeah, during Revolution, and and then I was talking about martial arts, and I was talking about my grandmaster because I hold a master rank in Senshao Kung Fu, and I was talking about my grandmaster, and Eric, one of the guys who was on the show with us, he thought that was some KKK thing, and he like lost his shit about it. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? He's my grandmaster, like the step above master level, and that was a really really fun moment. There's a lot of really fun stuff that we did. We used to mess with this dude Justin Cool that was on there with us. We used to always fuck with him and have a great time. And now I wish that he could have been cool, man. If Justin could have kept his cool, that could have really been something because that was a great bit, because we would give him shit and fuck with him because he was a big fan of Jean Claude Van Damme. So we'd always pretend like he was gay for Jean Claude Van Damme, and that was the bit that we would tease him and rag on him about it, right? And it was all bullshit. Like he wasn't gay for Van Damme at all. It was a bit we were doing. It was fun, and it was making people laugh, and people were having a great time. They loved it. But then he absolutely lost his fucking shit. Ended up quitting the show about it. It was crazy. He like got all pissed off about it. And when I tried to explain to him, dude, it's just a bit we're doing. You know that. What is wrong with you? You know what I mean? We fucking fuck with each other constantly. All of us do on the show. It's not real. It's just a bit, you know? And I don't know, man. That's the only issue. When you get, and I've told old boy this before, when you get people on the show, they have to understand what is the show and what is real life. And they can't take what happens on the show personally because it doesn't carry over. We can argue back and forth. We can fuck with each other. We can make fun of each other. We make fun of each other on this now a little bit. We're always fucking with Andy about Corey Feldman. And that's a bit too. The funny thing is, Andy don't even like Corey Feldman. Old boy's actually the one who likes Corey Feldman. And so when old boy says that Andy likes Corey Feldman, that's the bit. That's the funny part. And then Andy gets all pissed off about it, right? But in a fun way, like not real pissed off, just like as part of the show. So I'd like to get back to doing more shit like that, just fucking with each other and having a good time again. And just I'm so sick of the serious stuff, man. I've been serious for so many fucking years, and that's just not who I am. And I can still be serious if I need to. If I need to explain something or something like that, I can absolutely explain something. You know what I mean? I'm good at it, but I'd like to get back to having fun again and not worry about the politics so much and not worry about the serious issues so much and just have a show where we're having fun because Staring's always going to be a more serious show because it has to be. You know what I mean? Because it's more fact based and evidence based. But on We're Screwed, we can kind of let our hair down a little bit, and just cut loose and cut up and have fun. And I'd like to get back to doing that. So, that's my piece. Let us know down in the comment section what you guys think. As always, up to you to make up your own mind. And we'll catch you on the next one. I'm tired and I'm going to bed. God loves you, and so do we. Bye bye.